Hi everyone, and welcome to another video from the Top Data Tips channel. If you like what you see in this video, please hit the subscribe button at any time, and please visit the channel at YouTube as well to get some more videos. In this particular video, we're looking at pivot table slicers and what are slicers and why we use them. So a slicer is just an interactive button that you can attach to your pivot table that filters or slices the data. So you could slice the data by a time period, like a date, for example, or a particular month or a quarter, or by a particular category or product. So they bring a bit of interaction into your reports. I use these all the time. I find them a really good tool in presenting reports or visualizations to your user or to anyone who's requesting a particular report. So what we would do, we will jump into how to first do the pivot table and then how we create the slicer. So we can see we've got a small data set here of salesperson's IDs, dates, the sales person's first name, surname, bonus, year-to-date sales and last year's sales. So first we're just going to build the pivot table. So we go up to the ribbon and press insert and pivot table reports, and this highlights the whole data set. We're going to pop the report in a new worksheet. So we're just going to click enter. And what I'm going to do in the rows column, I'm going to put the date. And what I tend to do, I like switching off these sort of drop down buttons. And you can see for each month, it's put the individual date. I don't want to drill down that closely into my data. So to switch these buttons off, you just come up to the Analyze tab under Pivot Table Tools. So click on Analyze and you can switch off the buttons pressing on this icon, and you can see they've gone now. Another quick tip I can show you guys, if you wanted to have a date field grouped by a quarter, a financial quarter, you can right click and go to click on group, and you can see that at the moment it's grouped by days and months. You can uncheck days and you can put quarters and months and click OK, and you can see it's actually put the 4 financial quarters in. So if you're doing a financial kind of report, that could also be quite useful to do. So the group function is quite good for grouping dates and sort of numerical data. You can't use it on sort of a text field or column. So if you want to highlight a column and you want to group it, particularly for dates, you just right click and you go to group, and then the dialog box will show you the different ways you can group your date or the particular column. Okay, so I'm just going to cancel out of that. Next thing I'm going to put is the salesperson ID into the rows column. You can see that's there, and I'm going to put the sales year to date in the values column. And another little quick tip is, if I want to change the sales year to date figures into currency, just right click, go to number format, go to currency. I prefer to have 0 decimal places, so you can just click the down arrow and just click OK, and you can see it's changed that. Another thing I like to do with my pivot tables, I like to have them in more of a classic tabular form. So again, you just keep your cursor clicked somewhere in the pivot table, go up to the options button. So again, make sure your pivot table tools analyze tab is highlighted and just click options. Then you go to display, click on display and click on classic pivot table layouts. You click OK and you can see it's put it in more of a tabular form. If you want to get rid of these subtotals, like you can see for each month it's put a subtotal. Again, just right click the mouse and you can switch off the top subtotals. And you can see that's report it's built with the quarters, the dates in terms of months, the salesperson, and the total year-to-date sales. Next, we're going to insert the slicer. So to insert a slicer so you can actually filter this pivot table, you go to the Insert tab, and if you go all the way to the right, there's a slicer option. You click on that slicer option and it displays all the different fields in your data set, and you can choose how you want to slice the data. So if you want to slice it by the year-to-date total, salesperson ID, but in this case I'm going to slice it by date. So click the date, I click the quarters option. Let me deselect date. So I'm going to insert a slicer and I want to slice it by selecting a quarter. So what you would do is click OK and you can see your slicer appears. So if I click on quarter 1, you can see it filters all the data just for quarter 1. If I filter quarter 2, there's quarter 2's data. If I wanted to see quarter 1 and 2, if you just hold down the control key and press left button click on the mouse, so let's say I'm selecting quarter 1, 2 and 3 and let go of the control key and your mouse, you can see there's quarter 1, there's quarter 2 and there's quarter 3. And to unfilter everything, you just click this clear filter button and then your full data set reappears. And another quick tip is you can see we've got 2 grayed out options at the bottom. So that means that there is no dates less than the 2nd or the 1st 2020 or greater than December 2020. So there's no data behind these filter buttons. So just to tidy up the filter dialog box, what you can do is make sure you click on the filter and then the slicer tools in the ribbon is highlighted with the options tab. You click on the options tab and then you can go to your slicer settings, and in your slicer settings what you would need to do is click this option, hide data items with no data, and if you click OK, those 2 grayed out buttons disappears. And another thing you can do, you can actually smarten up your slicer. If you go again to the options tab here and say we can increase the amount of columns to 2 columns, you can see it's done it quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. Increase it to 3 columns or 4 columns if you want them all in one line, and then you can increase the dialog size or your slicer size, and you can also make it smaller. It's a bit more neater. You can also change the height of the buttons if you wish, or the width, by clicking and deselecting the size of the buttons as well. And another thing you can do is you can also change the style of the slicers. So if you wanted to have a sort of a green slicer or an orange slicer, you can do that as well. And you can also put a title on your slicer. So again, if you click on the slicer, go to options, slicer settings, you can actually change the header name. You could, I guess, abbreviate quarters to QTR apostrophe S, for example, and click OK. And that will change the title. So as you can see, slicers are quite a powerful tool in pivot tables. They bring some interaction for the end user. It's super easy to use, really good to use in your reporting. As I say, I use them all the time. So that's it for this video. Hopefully we'll do some more videos in the next coming weeks for other Excel tips, and also on SQL as well. Again, if you like this video, please subscribe, and please visit the TOPS Data Tips channel on YouTube for some more videos. Thanks for watching. Bye.